Welcome back. This is Dime to Diamonds with Suzanne Porsky of Phoenix Financial Group and Rochelle Harp of Harp CPA. That phone number, 918-890-8311, 918-890-8311. Check out that website, dimetodiamondsradio.com. You know, when people get speaking roles on TV shows or movies, they usually earn residuals. Some call it mailbox money because the checks keep showing up. But there's a flip side to residuals. Ted McGinley, who made a lot from Married with Children, he tells Page Six that eventually those things just start drying up.
I was on a Love Boat for 3.5 seasons. I was on Happy Days for 4 seasons. I mean, I've been getting residuals all the time. I have a whole stack upstairs for 1 cent.
Do you bother cashing those in?
No.
What's the cutoff? Like, I would be pretty cheap. I would still $5 I'd put in. But what's your baseline?
I'd say anything above $2 is going in.
$2?
Yeah.
Wow, $2 residual check. I guess every penny adds up, right? I mean, honestly. But, you know, in the retirement world, we often compare residuals to annuities, right? Because you're getting that paycheck each and every single month. They come regularly. So do annuities go a step further here?
Yeah, because Hollywood residual checks, like he said, eventually stop. Guaranteed lifetime income, it doesn't stop. So that's one of the reasons. There's so many, but that annuities have become such an important tool for so many retirees. They provide that, like I say, mailbox money, that paycheck that you cannot outlive. Regardless of how long you live, if it's structured properly, it means peace of mind to them. Like I said, the pensions have been disappearing. That's one of those things that won't disappear. And then that's when also you have these conversations, and I'll be having them today, actually with a couple more listeners. What do you want your lifetime, and your wife's lifetime? What is this going to look like? More importantly than anything, and I've talked about this before last year when with my husband's stroke, they have those doublers on there. If you can't do 2 out of the 6 activities of daily living, ADLs, that's dressing, toiletry, bathing, there's 6 of them, transferring, they'll double that. So if we've set up that paycheck to be, I don't know, $3,000, in our case, $3,000 a month on that pension, they'll send either another $3,000 every single month, or they just will send it to you in a lump sum. So for us, they send a lump sum, $36,000. That was the second day in ICU. It gave me the freedom to not have to go into savings or rearrange anything to say, okay, this is what we're working with, and now we need to make this transition to a rehab facility and then get our house ready for him. That's what's good about those pensions set up. They're better than any pension you've ever seen anywhere. I've never seen a pension that's had that kind of, but you don't need it on every single annuity. That's right. Why I try to tell people, they come in here with 17 annuities and they all have all that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no, you don't need that. It's like having one car that has maybe, you know, all the bells and whistles, and the rest are just like, these are going to get us to A to B, and it's going to save us money in the long run. That's really what needs to happen. So,
yeah, well, and that one provides the protection that's needed, and then the others should be working towards a different job for that long-term plan. Yeah. So I'm a little annoyed as an accountant from the gentleman because he's not cashing those 1 cent checks, and we have to reconcile all that all the time. So he is now creating an accounting issue for whoever is issuing him those checks. Then on the flip side, if you got 365, that's, you know, $3.65. What difference does it make if you drive it and drop it off and different things like that? So I'm not understanding exactly why he's not cashing any check.
We hit our hot spot.
Well, you talk about leaving money on the table, guys. All those pennies add up. I mean, you get 100 of those checks. I mean, guys, hello, adds up.
Consistency, choices, good choices, you know, consistent good choices over time.
Now you're going to be in my head when I open that dang drawer from Walt Disney. Come on, quit sending me 7-cent checks.
Go cash them.
I'm going to see your face now every time I open one of those stupid checks.
But back to the guaranteed income, retirement planning is about creating that dependable cash flow. It's creating that confidence that your monthly expenses are covered. And that's what the guaranteed portion should be solving the problem for people. And so, you know, what is that for you is going to be different than what it is for someone else. But being able to identify those different opportunities, what vehicles to actually use, and when I say vehicles, what tools, but also making sure that they're all working together from a tax efficiency standpoint, because different incomes and different investment tools are taxed differently. So we want to make sure that we're doing it in the most effective way possible. Us working together as a team, that's where people should come in and have those conversations so we can take a look at it and make sure everything is working towards that 15-year goal.
Thank God for you. I prayed for you for so many years. Oh my goodness, I just needed somebody. I know enough about taxes and I know how to help people mitigate, but I don't file taxes. I don't keep up. with it, especially now because I have you. I listen to you and I learn, but all the changes, like when we have the one big beautiful bill that comes out, I mean, gosh, I had so many questions because I'm looking at these people's overall financial picture because we're holistic. What buckets are we pulling money out of to make sure that we are maximizing every penny? And so, listeners, I'm going to tell you right now, she just told on herself. She even cares about your pennies.
I do.
Even though they don't exist anymore. They don't make them anymore.
They don't make them anymore. But if you have a 1 cent check, which I do have a couple of those, I'm going to go in that drawer and I'm going to look at it. I'm just going to go cash them all in.
Thank you.
But yeah, we care all the way down to the pennies. And that's where people come in. They go, I'm so stressed. I'm like, you don't have to be stressed anymore because we like to do this. I get stressed when I go to the dentist. They love to clean the things.
Yep.
Get in there and get all that tartar and stuff out. It's just, that's what we are. I couldn't do their job, but I could do mine. Bring it here and we'll take care of it. Bring it on over here.
Bring it on here. When it comes to retirement, as they say, the winning recipe is income, income, and income. So if you're wondering, do I have enough income? Maybe you have a couple of these checks sitting in a drawer somewhere. Bring it on here, as we just said. So call today for this income analysis, guys. It is complimentary, especially if you want more information about an annuity. By the way, guys, there's a couple different types of annuities. Is an annuity a fit for you? Well, we don't know exactly. Lots of different options available for you. And if you're interested in that paycheck for life, that guaranteed income for life, it's so simple. Call and say, I want that income analysis. We'll do it for you today. 918-890-8311. 918-890-8311. The website, dimetodiamondsradio.com. There was a list floating around about the first year of retirement, and the number one tip really caught my eye here. It says, don't stop saving. In fact, one recommendation was to save around 10% of your Social Security check. So does that make sense in the real world, right, that we're all living in here? And is that something that you see people actually doing? So we're talking about annuities that can give you guaranteed income, and then all of a sudden you're telling me I need to save my Social Security too?
Well, and I like the idea, but maybe not for the reasons people think. It's not about making yourself rich. It's really about giving yourself breathing room because life happens, as I've talked about. Cars break down, roofs leak, grandkids need braces. Just having that extra cash set aside creates freedom. And that's one of the questions people ask me is like, what if I don't want all this income that you're providing every month? I'm like, save it for a rainy day. And then there are times, because we are those pesky people who I like to see you. So I'm going to, if you're not going to just come in for your pie and Thanksgiving that we give away, all the different things we have, I'm also going to call and say, hey, let's do a checkup. Let's sit down and go over everything. Make sure that I still have the right numbers and everything's okay. And this has a lot of extra money in it. Let's get it working a little bit more strategic for you. Like you haven't been spending that money every month. Hey, there's some new ideas out there. There's Trump accounts. There's 529s, or let's do those. So that's why we always tell people that having that extra cash is actually, I think, creates freedom. What you say?
I agree. I mean, I think it goes back to wealth is usually built through consistency, not through like perfect timing or perfect planning. It's built through making the right habits. And so if you're able to set aside a little bit of it, living under your means, then you're able to have emergency funds, or you're able to have extra that you can now invest in some type of opportunity that's come through. And when you're talking about that, it also gives you the opportunity to help take advantage of certain tax savings, right? So when you're talking like the 529 plan, well, you don't really want to do that on just $1,000, but maybe you want to do it on $10,000. Well, if you have that setting aside and you want to do it, we're able to make that adjustment right then, and it can create a tax savings that's more than what you invested. So it comes to creating that flexibility,
right?
But it also is about establishing that habit so that you're not exceeding your living standard,
right? Because nobody can help you with that.
No. That's
when you've got more month than money and you're not working anymore, we need to talk. I've told people, like, you might need to come up with a new hobby.
And I think that's the piece that we go to a lot of times is coming in and talking with us is a lot of times about identifying what your expenses are. What is it that you actually are spending throughout the month, throughout the year? And what are there things that can be cut out? And maybe that answer is yes. And maybe things are no, we can't cut that out. So we got to make sure that we have a buffer. But a lot of people don't really know that number.
No. And then I always like to ask them, like, is the bank of mom and dad still open?
Oh my gosh.
How big are those doors?
90% of the time, that answer is yes.
Well, and I think in today's economy, it's even worse, though, because a lot of these young kids, this economy's tough. They're not making enough money to live on their own. I was just talking to a parent friend of mine, and they were saying that my kid graduated college, but I'm still paying for apartments. I'm still paying for car insurance. And this is all money that they're funneling out, that they should be funneling into their own retirement. It's almost the state of our economy right now.
And the way we've raised the kids, because I didn't have that option. That was not even on the table. there's just bank of mom because there's no dad really. There's a dad, but it was anyways. It made
Your
me
expectation. You knew the expectation was at 19.
And, if I didn't, I had a reality check pretty darn quick. Like, you want to go to college? Well, then how are you going to pay for it?
Yeah.
And you better get creative.
And I think there are different opportunities for individuals, right? So obviously kids want to live on their own, but I think if you're going to live in an apartment and live on your own, then you should be funding that. I don't think that there is anything wrong with letting the kids come back to your house and letting them live in your house. I think one of the greatest opportunities I've heard about is individuals still charging them a rent, but setting that money aside and saving it for them so that when they're like, hey, Mom, I think I'm ready to go, buy a house, well, I've saved this and it's the down payment. It's what you've been paying me. So they've created that opportunity, but they've taught them some responsibility at the same time.
It's being proactive, though. And I think there was something lost in translation. I think that if I've heard it right from people, they go, I didn't want them to have to go through what I went through. I'm like, yes, but I think our tough times, and I said this before, tough times never last, tough people do, but there is a resilience that's built through it. And life is going to life, and you may not always be there to do that. So they're going to learn that lesson because that's the lesson that's out there for them to learn. Are you prolonging it? Do you need the encouragement? And I have done that many times in my 4 decades. They're like, can you please, we're bringing family in, we're having a family meeting and really discuss this. And I've had the adult children call and say, hey, you do ours for my husband and I and my parents. I need them to help me out. Absolutely not. I don't say that right away. I talk to the parents and I'm like, hey, let's have a family meeting. And we don't talk about exact numbers. We just talk about the overall plan. And I think one of the most successful things you can do is not be a financial burden to your child. And so what are you building? Because if you're sacrificing now, are you creating a financial burden later on when you're not able to work and they're having to take care of you and then you've coddled them? Sorry, moms. I don't think there's many dads.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's tough to hear as a parent. I get it. You want to do everything you possibly can for your kid, but you also have to realize, you're robbing yourself. I've heard some people say, sure, I'll help you pay your rent now, but just be ready for me to move in because I'm not going to have enough money to pay my mortgage or, what have you in retirement. So just know this is going to come back to you and I'm going to be, living in the basement of your bachelor pad, But to wrap all this up, this is the deal, folks. If you're looking for stable income in retirement, if you're looking for how, when, and where Social Security, where does that fall in? Should I be saving part of it? Is this my fund money? Where does it go? Well, these are all conversations that you're going to have when you sit down with Suzanne or Rochelle. You do this portfolio analysis. This really gives them kind of a bird's eye view of exactly what you have right now, what you're working with, what's coming in the future. How do all these different puzzle pieces work and how do they go together? Everybody's situation is different. This portfolio analysis is going to show you in great detail the depth of your retirement plan. That phone number is, of course, 918-890-8311. 918-890-8311. The website, dimetodiamondsradio.com. Don't move. Coming up in just a moment, could AI change your retirement timeline? We'll be right back.
When you retire, the paycheck from your job will likely stop. But here's what won't stop: bills, taxes, and medical issues. Sure, there's Social Security, but that may not be enough. Suzanne Porsky and the team at Phoenix Financial Group can show you how to develop a new stream of income that can last as long as you live, kind of like having your own personal pension. You won't have to worry about whether the market is up or down or who's sitting in the White House. You can spend your time instead on the things that matter, like family, friends, and doing the things you never had time to do before. Call Suzanne today at 918-890-8311. That's 918-890-8311. And schedule a custom income review at no charge to find out where you stand now and how Suzanne can help you build income in retirement at 918-890-8311 or online at dimetodiamondsradio.com.
In retirement, you'll be writing two kinds of checks: the fun ones to pay for things like nice vacations, and the not-so-fun ones to pay for things like your tax bill. Fortunately, a good strategy can help minimize your tax obligations, leaving more money for your vacation budget. Sound good? Call Suzanne Porsky at Phoenix Financial Group to talk about tax strategies in retirement. 918-890-8311 or at dimetodiamondsradio.com.
Welcome back. This is Dime to Diamonds. We love hearing from you. Most importantly, folks, if you are around Main Street here in Broken Arrow, you're walking around, maybe you hit Main Street Tavern, maybe you said, you know what, it's the day that I'm taking the kids to get ice cream and some chocolate at Kilwins. You can always stop by and say, hey, the office is right above Main Street Tavern. Come in, say hello, grab some of the best popcorn you're ever going to have in your life. Meet the team. The doors are always open. 918-890-8311. I want to jump right into this because this is a big topic of discussion. Of course, AI. It is helping the world. It's, some people they think that's ruining the world, but let's dive into this because before technology took over, there were actually real jobs that somebody had to do. I mean, literally, milk was delivered door to door. Street lamps were lit by hand. Telephone operators manually connected calls by plugging cables into switchboards. And eventually, technology came and made those jobs obsolete. Now, artificial intelligence is raising a similar question for some workers approaching retirement. A new greater exposure to AI really has some folks worried about, well, am I going to be downsized? Am I going to have to leave the workforce maybe earlier than I thought? Well, if some people in their late 50s or maybe even early 60s, if they're worried about this and how it could change their retirement plan, how do you help make sure retirement remains a choice rather than a surprise?
Well, I always like to ask people when they come in, what kind of research have you done up to this point? And where are you now and where do you want to be? And I'm kind of going to divert on here because some of them have went to AI and they have decided that they need, that they have gold or they have some sort of a precious commodity or they have Bitcoin or they have that kind of thing. And they'll tell me what the value is of that. And sometimes it's even true. It's on a statement. So they put all that information into AI and then AI will kind of give them a little bit of a plan. Mm-hmm. A couple things, Jess. On commodities, what's not discussed is the human element of what we know. What I absolutely know in 4 decades of doing this, sitting at my table, clients just within the last couple of weeks, you go to turn that commodity in, you go to turn that gold in. It's like buying a car thinking you're going to sell it for the same price, even if it's brand new and it's parked and you've never used it because now the latest greatest is selling. No, there are so many fees involved in negotiating that. So somebody came in and told me, oh, I'm going to, I was working at this company, I took my retirement, put it into gold. It's worth $1 million, 1.1 million. But the statement says 767,000. We called it in. We called in that it was worth 367. Those are huge number differences. And then it's like, well, I got gold bars and I got all this and I put all that into AI. And I'm like, there's a human part of all of that.
We have some personal experience with this. My father had some gold and it's fantastic, right? It's one of those, I see gold as an opportunity to have on hand if you think the world's going to end and you might need a trade. Eventually,
a gold bar?
Yeah.
For some wheat?
For some food, You
can't go to Albertsons and all these other, sorry.
Yeah. As an investment, I don't always agree with that statement because when it came time to sell it, he goes back to the broker to sell it. The broker says, well, we don't buy it straight from you. We have to find a buyer first. They have to have the demand on site before they will even buy it from you. And then again, they don't buy it from you at what it's valued. It's at least 20% less, if not lower than that. So you're already cutting into those margins. So yes, it may say that it's worth $1 million, but one, do you have somebody that's actually going to buy it? And then at the end of the day, what are you actually going to take home? And it's probably going to be about 60%.
Yeah, if you're lucky. It's all the commodities. If it's not cash, if you can't go pay a utility bill with it, it's just, so that's where, Jess, I'm telling you, AI is like, it's great. It helps you with a lot. It does. I can ask what kind of salad, like how recipes or directions or general information. But as far as your planning, it doesn't know unless you're telling it like, hey, I heard that I need to be worried about Irma and look at my taxes and tell me what my taxation. You've got to have a human element.
Unless you know the exact wording to prompt the AI, agent you're using, you're not going to necessarily get the answers that you want. And besides all that, let's be honest here. This is literally your life savings. I can't imagine going to ChatGPT and saying, here's all my money, now make me a plan, and then just running with that. Because think about this. I had to call, I think, my bank the other day, and they were saying, this thing answers and goes, hi, I'm so-and-so, your AI helper. And I was like, oh my God, just get me to a person, because otherwise I'm yelling into the phone like, representative, that's annoying enough. I can't imagine my retirement like that, right? I mean, I want to be able to call you, Rochelle, or Suzanne and say, hey, this just happened, or I need to get a new car, or my roof is going, I got to get a new roof. How does this work? I want to be able to speak to a person and have that confidence that number one, the industry, exactly what you're talking about. Number two, you're going to give me that confidence, that added peace of mind that I need, that I'm going to be okay. You're not going to get that through a chat bot. You know what I mean?
Like I said, we help stress test, and I've had enough stresses in my life, or my clients even that, for all the stories I've heard.
You
I'm
can't
like,
make up your
you can't make
stories.
this stuff up, and I'm like, okay, that whole Medicare thing, that all sounds good. Medicare Disadvantage, it all sounds great until the story. How about all the stories I have of people going on cruises and then they're in another country, and even when they decide they're not going to get off the ship in that country so they don't have to worry about it, they're still in international waters. The boat is still there. Is your Medicare and your Medicare supplement plan going to cover you on the ship that is in international, all that stuff? I'm like, like you just said, the prompt doesn't happen. So I tell people, hope is not a retirement strategy. You hope that you're going to get this for your gold, or you hope you're going to get this out of your Bitcoin. Preparation is. And so today, I'm telling you right now, listeners, if work ended tomorrow, would your retirement survive it? If you don't know an answer to that question, let's find out together. Give us a call right now. Stop what you're doing, 918-890-8311. Give us a call. Let's talk. We'll talk to you on the phone, in person, go to a workshop. But let's do that heart paddle moment of your job ended, whether that's for health reasons or the company or whatever. Could you retire? What does it look like?
Again, that phone number, 918-890-8311. We'll call it the Dime to Diamonds, portfolio review here. Are you prepared to go into retirement, right? Again, 918-890-8311. If the stock market feels a little confusing to you right now, you are not alone. Investment manager Charles Bobronski tells CNBC that one emotion seems to be driving a lot of investors.
Yeah, at any given time, there are times in which people are overly greedy or overly fearful. And I think right now it's absolutely the case that we're in overly greedy mode. There is FOMO all over this market. And the indicators that people talk about, whether it's your cab driver asking you about his latest AI wins, or it's one of your kids telling you got to get with it and invest more in technology, all of these things tend to be signs of euphoria, and it's never good to be buying when everybody's buying.
All right. Well, no one wants to feel like they're just sitting on the sidelines here. So how do you help people in retirement, or maybe even close to it, benefit from the market without letting that whole fear of missing out idea drive their decisions?
Okay, I'm getting on my soapbox right here.
Get on it.
Fear of missing out has probably cost investors more money than almost anything else. I have seen people literally implode their retirement plan because of fear and greed. People buy because everyone else is buying. Then they panic because everyone else is panicking. I am telling you, the most successful people in retirement and investing, it's not exciting. It's just discipline. They've got a plan. They're working the plan. I'm not one to go buy the latest, greatest vehicle, but I know people that are just waiting, or phone or whatever that is. I'm like, I'm good. I'm in it for the long game, like discipline. And that whole FOMO thing drives me crazy. When I am on like Schwab Network with Marley Caden or Alicia Summers on One America News, and we're talking, and I'm there beforehand and I'm listening to all the hype and what's going on the stock exchange floor. And I'm just like, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I get it. It's like being out here at a cattle cell.
Yep.
You want to raise your paddle and you don't even want a stinking cow, but everybody's raising it.
Yeah, you don't want to
go
be
Target
left
on
out.
Black Friday. I would bring home stuff that I didn't even know what was in my basket, but everybody ran to it. So I did, and I grabbed it and I put it in my basket. I'm like, what the actual? I did not need this toaster. I have nobody that needs this toaster. Why another pillow? But that's what happens. And they're like, oh my gosh, I've got to be part of the SpaceX.
Yep.
Oh my goodness gracious. The phone kept ringing. I'm like, no. If this isn't part of the portfolio, or if this is a hobby of yours, that little bit of extra, fine, but don't let this be your retirement strategy. So if you're wondering right now, listeners, whether your portfolio is built for retirement or just built for growth, or you're looking at the headlines and you're wondering if you're missing out, give me a call, 918-890-8311. We'll sit down and talk about it. There is, you can have some play money, some fun money. And there's even one gentleman, he gets more enjoyment out of going to the casino.
Probably has the same returns.
Exactly. I'm his financial advisor. Yeah, it is. And he gets more enjoyment out of that. And he grabs a little snack and he talks to people. And I was like, truthfully, the market right now, my 2 cents, which who knows who wants to hear it, but is so overinflated.
Yeah.
This reminds me of me talking to people. They're like, I got this Pokemon card and it is worth $1 million. I'm like, to somebody if they buy it from you.
Yeah.
In the meantime, it's cardboard.
Exactly.
Goes back to having a proactive plan, and we talk about that all the time, that, each and every decision, whether it's investments or purchasing different things, it should be there supporting that retirement goal. And so you're not having that emotional reaction, fear of missing out, because it's a yes or a no if it's going to get you closer to your end goal. If it doesn't, it's a no. If it does, then yes, and we should purchase it. So I think it goes back to actually having a plan and sticking to that plan.
Kind of reminds me of like our health journey, my husband and I now. I was trying to entice him with some ice cream because who likes to eat ice cream by themselves?
Right.
I don't know. I'm on the couch, we're watching, a show. And he's like, no, it's not part of the plan. I'm like,
Part of the plan?
Well, because he's cut the carbs, he's cut the sugars down, he's losing weight, he feels great. And I am too. I've just got a little more room to, I tell myself I got more room to play, probably not, but I'm going to put the chocolate chips, mini chocolate chips on my espresso ice cream, and then a little squirt of caramel. I don't know. It's just, that's what it reminds me of. I have discipline in other areas where, and that's what I tell people. We're not trying to cut the fun. We're not fun suckers telling you can't go get SpaceX stock or whatever, but let's talk about it. Is it just for fun? Is it that extra little bowl of ice cream fun? Or are you, right now, we are so disciplined because we know we're going on this once in a lifetime trip called retirement. And you now are going to get to live the life that you have worked your entire life for. Are we that disciplined, or are we already there? And now we can start having some fun. I lost my 70 pounds. Now every once in a while I want a bowl of ice cream.
Yeah. Well, and that's the piece of it, is people underestimate that you can set aside, $100, or maybe it's $200 for one of them, depending on what their portfolio looks like. And that can be their fun money to go buy whatever stocks they want to and go play, do whatever. But all the rest of it is working towards the plan. So I 100% agree that, your ice cream is your fun money.
So if you're wondering again, where you're at on your journey, if you need to have like, hey, this is the road mark that I'm at, give us a call. 918-890-8311. Don't assume yesterday's advice is still going to work today. Let's see if your retirement strategy has kept up with today's reality and what you want your tomorrows to look like.
There you go. More details on the website, dimetodiamondsradio.com. We appreciate you joining us. That is going to do it for us. And of course, we'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for calling. I hope to see a lot of you at our workshop August 6th. Again, we're only going to do 2 more. This is one of the 2 we're going to do and then call it a year because of all the people we help coming out of them. There's just not that much time with holidays and everything else. So let us meet you. Come in. Let's say hi.
Come in. Get some cool air conditioning feeling. It's hot here in Oklahoma. Get some popcorn and come tell us your stories, because we love to hear them.
Yes. Until next time. Take care.
By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities, offered through Suzanne Porsky, NPN number 2624550. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Dime to Diamonds is a personal slogan and program inspired by overcoming challenges. It's motivational and does not guarantee financial results or performance.